Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Insurance Town. I'm the Mayor, Heath Sheeran, and the host of this podcast. And I'm pumped you're here hanging out with me today because I got my friend Casey Armstrong finally in the program. I've been asking him to come on, and finally we're getting it done. He's with Canopy Connect. As you know, my sponsor of the show has been with me from the jump, and I'm excited they're here. They are the one-click solution that you need to quote your prospects. And I'm nervous now with him sitting here looking at me, reading this ad read, but whatever. So, you know, they can get you not only the loss runs, they can get you the deck pages. They can take care of driver's lists. They can get you anything that you need to help you to take that prospect from quote to finish. They also have the intake platform. Now I'm going to hear today about a Trailhead thing, or you're going to hear about this. Guys, go to use Canopy. If you're not using Canopy in your agency, I don't know what you're doing. Like, it's ridiculous. Use canopy.com/Heath and get your discount. Get a demo, book all the things. Casey will take care of. You're going to hear a lot more from Casey today about that. Guys, also, I got to talk to you about my good friends over at OneFort AI. If you're not been in touch with OneFort, you've got to, because they are AI for insurance agencies. I know you're hearing a lot about AI, but they help you save time and win more with specifically commercial P&C by automating submissions and quoting and binding, all with AI. And they've already saved, 1,000 agencies thousands of hours with OneFort. And they do it with smarter automations, with faster quoting, and with easier offloading of manual work to focus on growing your book of business. Guys, go to onefort.ai and check them out. Tell them the mayor sent you. They just brought on Caleb Kramer. If you don't know him, you got to get to know him. He's an incredible addition to the team. And guys, lastly, my good friends over at Mav. Ditch the call center. Nobody likes a robocall. Nobody likes dealing with call centers. Ditch that call center and use text messaging. It's been proven to be highly effective, more effective to help you with qualifying, quoting, and connecting your prospects with your agents, with your account managers, and to have a higher close ratio. Go to hiremav.com and check them out. Now, I got that. I'm so excited that I have those sponsors. I'm glad that you guys are connecting with them. If you haven't yet, make sure you do that. But I'm ready now to rip the Band-Aid off and bring in my man, Casey Armstrong. Guys, buckle up because this is going to be a fun episode. Casey Armstrong, what's up, brother?
How you doing there, Heath? I am so lucky to be chatting with you. I don't know many people that have been a part of the Canopy Connect journey longer than I have, and you're one of those folks. I've been with Canopy Connect since
since 2020.
Yeah,
when he first launched, man, I can remember Tolga and I having early conversations about what that's going to look like, what he thinks is going to be his vision, and then my vision for Insurance Talent, and we aligned so well on what we wanted. And I'm so proud of you guys and what you guys have built and what it is. And I'm so glad that you guys have been a part of my journey. I couldn't have done this show without you guys, and without you and your support, dude. I'm gonna try not to get all teary-eyed right now, and I was super nervous, Casey, reading that ad read with you sitting there watching me. Did I get it right? Am I okay?
you crushed it. You crushed it as always,
dude.
The mayor provides.
Me so nervous with you sitting there because I'm like, what if they've updated their messaging? Because I've been reading that ad read for 6 years now. I've updated it along the way, obviously, but here's the thing, though, a lot of people don't know, and you've seen it now, right now. I do those live every episode. It's not pre-recorded. It's not a canned. It's live right then and there as I'm doing the episode because I want to be authentic. I want to be organic every time. And sometimes I say certain things. Sometimes I don't. I don't have anything written down or scripted. So I'm glad that worked out. So, okay. Now that we've gotten all that and my love for Canopy out of the way, talk to me for a minute. The audience that's watching on YouTube, you can see what I see. Bikes in the background. Like, are you, I know you're a biker, but like, tell me more about, like, how long have you been riding?
Oh God. Mom taught me how to ride a bike when I was like in kindergarten. She was getting me out there, getting me riding. Best memories I have. My mom teaching me how to ride, getting it going. First tax-paying job was 13 years old at a local bike shop. Luckily, the owner didn't know anything about child labor laws, and tax man was cool with it because I was paying my taxes. So,
Dude,
started there, been having the bikes ever since. These ones are actually handmade frames from Napa, California. I actually worked with the guy who makes the frames at that bike shop when I was 13. When I was 16, his bike company launched and he started, he left the bike shop and started doing that. And I got my first bike from when I was 16 and a half. Had it ever
so
since, and
do they have
needless
the
to say, they
Casey
keep adding.
Armstrong line yet?
I wish. They got this cooler one called Retrotech. They look like an old Schwinn Cruiser. So when I'm out there on the trails, people are like, "What is that? Is that an old Schwinn?" And then I blow by and they're like, "Oh, it's not an old Schwinn. It has almost 3-inch wide tires on it."
Dude, have you ever been to Northwest Arkansas to ride in
I
Denton?
haven't yet, but I've heard only the best about it. When I was looking at places to move, it was on the list just because of the mountain biking.
Dude, there's people that move here from all over the place. I'm not a rider. If you've ever seen me in person, you could tell I'm not a bike rider. But there's people that come here from all over the country to ride the trails here in Northwest Arkansas because apparently they're some of the best.
Oh, hands down. I've been hearing about them all over the place. The top places you're hearing about are, Canada, you know, California, and like the Tahoe areas, and then where you're at. It's pretty interesting. How like the demographics of where the trails
Yeah.
are has completely changed just in the last X amount of years. It's pretty awesome to see all the growth.
Dude, they have poured in a lot of time, effort, money, and intentionality in growing that demographic and getting that out there because I mean, we're the natural state. That's what our slogan is. Our slogan is. So we want people to come here and experience that. And I think it's super cool. Again, this is not the bike riding town podcast, but being that we are an insurance town. So one of my favorite things, obviously, beyond having you guys as a sponsor, but just because because of my history, anytime I hear people talk about Canopy and watching their eyes light up or watching that light bulb moment when they finally figure it out, or they'll be like, man, I reached out and I connected because of the show or because of this or whatever. My whole life's changed. Like my agency's completely changed. And this is how I'm using it. This is how this is going on. And I'm just, a podcast, guy that does it. You on a day-to-day basis. I know you've been there for 5 or 6 years now. You've probably heard that a lot too. That's got to be a really cool moment for you.
Oh, well, hands down. And that's why I'm still here. I do like 10 to 12 meetings a day with prospects, people that have never seen Canopy Connect ever or heard of it. And when I show it to them, 9 out of 10, where's this been? I know about this. How did I know about this 5 years ago? Oh my gosh, this collects all the data and feeds it into my radar. You're saying, well, hold on. But what about the carriers outside my radar? Oh, it feeds into those too. It's just awesome to see the wows. And I'm not gonna lie, the f bombs are my favorites. When the agent drops the f bomb when they see it, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." They're like, because they're suit and tie folk, and they're like,
And they're
when they
blown away.
drop a f bomb, they're like, "Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh no!" It's just so cool to see them light up because they've been doing this sometimes longer than I've been alive. Let's be honest. Like, they are legit pros that could do any quote of any sort in their sleep. Like, and to see them light up and blown away by a piece of technology is really, really cool.
Oh, 100%. And so knowing the man that you are and the type of person that you are, beyond being an insurance guy and being a cool guy and a bike ride, whatever, I know the human being that you are. What does that mean to you as a person? Like personally, what does that mean to you to see someone understand the product and what you guys are doing for them?
Really just gets me going in the day. Just really, lets me know that we're listening to everything that the agent has been telling us for the last 7 years. We've just been listening to them, understanding what they actually do day in, day out. What really sucks is somebody already collected all this information and it's just sitting ready to be utilized. And they got to collect it. And it's not them just collecting it over again. They then have to collect it and then manually enter it into multiple systems over and over and over and over again. That it's just, that's where AI needs to be. Let's be honest. AI needs to do the simple, mundane, mind-numbing tasks. Just like you said, earlier, Heath, no one wants to talk to AI. They want a real person, but they'll text some text messages back and forth because that's fine, that's easy, but nobody actually wants to talk to it. And here, we use AI actually where it's need to be used. For the mundane stuff, the stuff that doesn't matter, it doesn't involve a trusted advisor because trusted advisor doesn't need to be writing down VIN numbers. Trusted advisor doesn't need to be asking you what your square footage is on your garage. And a regular person shouldn't have to go out there with a tape measure that stuff out. And that's the things we're solving is what AI is meant to do. Take care of these mundane tasks so the trusted advisor, the human, can dig in and show them all the gaps because they don't have sewer and water coverage, they don't have wind and hail. And guess what? If that F-250 that they paid off, it's a 2022, I think it's sideswiped in the middle of the night, they're left out to dry because whoever wrote it didn't write the proper coverage. Instead of you having to collect all these VIN numbers, instead you're diving in on what matters. Why they actually called you, because they have something in the back of their mind saying something's wrong, but they don't know insurance like these agents do. They've never even heard the word deck page, let's be honest.
Right. No, you're exactly right. And that was one of the things that, like, back in my day when I was selling insurance and when I was a producer, we were trying to figure out ways to collect that data and that intake forms. And we would have it on a piece of paper that I'd print out and I'd have to take it, or I'd have to take a clipboard with me, or I'd have to take this because I started Casey way back in the day. And I'd have to sit there and we would have the fact finder sheets and we would sit down, and I can remember that. And I thought, like, when I first got, a smartphone, I could take a picture, and I thought, man, this is game changer. I can go out to their vehicle and take a picture of the VIN number and not have to worry about that. I thought, man, this is game changer. And I could go ahead and, put that in an email and email it to myself. So I had it. I'm like, man, this is amazing. And then we try to figure out ways to shorten that intake form and, the printed out form. And then we'd figure out ways to do this. And it was like such a headache. And then I would get back sometimes, even the days that I would write. Can I read that? Is that what letter is that? What am I writing? I can't read my chicken scratch, or I have to wait for them to go out to their car and look up the VIN number. And it's like, now, like, obviously, Canopy Connect wasn't around back then, but if I could have had a link to send to somebody, be like, all you gotta do is just click this. And you're not dealing with feelings, you're dealing with facts now. You're not dealing with human error. The deck pages are the factual, like, it's there. It's from the carrier, and it can be uploaded straight to your dashboard. Dude, where was that my whole life? I'm like those people, like, and going back to that, how funny would that be to have a montage of F-bombs dropped over the last 6 years of calls? That would be hilarious.
Oh gosh, yeah. It would be pretty hilarious to see the montage of all the F-bombs. Oh no, what the? It's pretty cool. We were actually able to kind of look back in our like recordings, and we were able to type the word love in to make a little montage for Valentine's Day. It was pretty funny.
Dude, that is funny. But yeah, like, again, going back to those PTSD moments for me that I'm shaking, like thinking about collecting all that data and the amount of human error that can happen there. And now you're, like I said, getting the factual stuff straight from the carrier and straight from, their deck pages. There is no error there. It's just factual, not feelings anymore. It's not error. I mean, I don't know. And to know that could happen. And then when you guys realize that oh wait, we're pulling some of this stuff on commercial accounts too. I mean, that's another huge game changer moment.
Yeah, we got 222 commercial carriers today. I mean, if you're competing somebody, they got Progressive, you're going to see a full list of their trucks, full list of their drivers, and you're going to have a loss run summary going back 7 years instantly, right then and there. We find maybe the standard carriers, they have loss run summaries available instantly. We're able to capture those and all the documents they got, even their welcome packet from 2021. And we've seen some of those packets come back on the commercial side, 900 pages. It's pretty mind-boggling.
Dude, for sure. So let's for the audience that whether they use Canopy Connect or not right now, give me a minute. And again, audience listening, as you know, if you've listened to enough of these episodes, and some of you, I thank you dearly, because some of you are like, I've listened to all 326 of them, whatever it might be. I appreciate you. You know, I don't script my episodes. Casey and I did not talk about any of this, so I'm putting Casey on the spot here. But let's put some stuff on the bottom shelf here for those, whether you are or not a user. What does it, the average use case, what does that look like? Let's go at the lowest level for someone brand new to Canopy Connect and that want to have that mind-blowing moment without a demo, without looking at a screen, whatever. Like, let's talk through that a minute. What does it look like? What are you seeing agencies using it as, like, from prospecting level? How simple is it? What does it look like? It's a very crappy question. You think after 326 episodes, I'd be really good at asking questions, but I'm not. Just let's walk through that, though, so they understand what we're dealing with here.
Oh, 100%. And there's never any crappy questions from the mayor.
Right.
So it just kind of depends on the agency, really. The cool thing about Canopy Connect, we just embed into your current experience. So whatever you're doing today, there's no reason to, swap the wheels on your car. You're already rolling down the road. We just want to put some air in the tires so you're going faster because you're underinflated. You got 10 pounds of pressure. Let's get up 35. We can actually be hitting freeway speeds here. Now, to do that, you can leverage it any way you think of. We got a lot of agents actually bridging a gap we had no idea that even existed in the space. A lot of people, they spend so much time building up these referral partners. We spend hours on the phone with them, taking them out to dinner, lunch, doing all these things, explaining to them exactly what we provide for their consumers. But at the end of the day, they got a bunch of other referral partners doing the exact same thing, and you're just in the back of their, wallet as a, business card. With Canopy Connect, we see a lot of agents taking the QR code we create and putting on like a little PVC pedestal. They'll give this to the real estate agent. They're like $10. You can even put the real estate agent's headshot out there, have a pitch that you want that prospect to see. QR code, when they scan it, it brings them to a link that's branded with your referral partner, so it's easy transition from the referral partner to you, and save you being in the back pocket when it's hard for their client to close on that home because they couldn't go get it on Lemonade themselves. You're front and center. For people that are walking in that home and they're worried because it's on a hillside, they've been reading about the fires on the hill. Can I even get insurance on this? And they're doubting themselves before they even get into real conversations with that real estate agent. And guess what? They got other homes. They got other cars. They got motorcycles. They got boats. They got RVs. They got jet skis that you could be insuring today. And maybe those are vastly underinsured. Maybe just save that person a huge headache, and now they're still on the path to buy that home. But maybe if they never talked to you, they never scanned that QR code, they got in a car accident, and now they're up to their head in bills because they didn't have the right coverages in place. So we're seeing huge gap change from that.
And that's the thing, like, again, I don't want to interrupt you, but like, that's the thing that people think, yeah, it's collecting data. Great. And I think that's a huge, probably one of the biggest number one use cases is collecting the data. But those agencies that look through that, I was talking to an agency at ABU and they were talking about Canopy Connect, and they were like, I had a client that sent me that stuff, and I was going through it, and I noticed their home was underinsured by like $400 or $500, like a lot of money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they were like, bro, do you realize that your house is worth X and you got insured for this. And it's like, no, I didn't realize that. And like that day, like not only did they get the account, but they got them insured correctly. That's game changer. And it was more premium, obviously, but huge.
Exactly. Proper coverage equals more premium. That's the cool thing about insurance. You help somebody, you actually get paid for it. It's a fabulous concept that the insurance world has going here.
Yeah, and I talked to, another agency I talked to. It's been a couple years ago, and so I know it's evolved since then. But he would even like have the QR code like saved as a photo on his phone or whatever, and he would be at the grocery store. And he was like, "Man, I remember I was looking at meat or whatever, like for that night to grill or whatever, and talking to somebody. Like, oh, I need to get with you, Casey, about my insurance. I keep forgetting I need to do that." And he was like, "Hang on a minute." Pulled up the QR code on his phone and the photos, showed it, but he's like, "Just scan this real quick. When you get a chance, take care of that, and then we'll get you a quote in no time." And he was like, that dude scanned it right then and there. And then, I forgot how quickly, but he was like, I wrote the account. But I'm like, he just had it on his phone. It was like so simple. It wasn't like in the old days when I was in, I would have had to sit there in the meat aisle and be like, all right, what's your VIN number? What's your phone? What's your address? He didn't have to do that. He just scanned this.
Exactly, because everybody's busy. You're in the meat aisle trying to get meat for the barbecue. They're in the meat aisle trying to get meat for the kids for dinner that they got to make. And oh, shoot, that's an hour and a half. We're able to speed everything up for everybody. We're able to give that person some time back in their day because they got stuff to do. And guess what? You as agency owner, you have more stuff to do.
Yeah, 100%. And so I love the use case. My favorite use case, and I talk about it a lot, is like you just mentioned, the referral partner, to be able to give them their own code, their own website, their own thing to be able to use. So it's like personal to them, and you could personalize it with their logo, their stuff on it. And there's people that give it to their mama, to give it to like at their mahjong parties, at their bunko parties, at their bingo nights. Their mama could use it.
You can make it for everybody. That's the cool thing. It doesn't need to be another business. It could just be your high school chum that knows everybody, that's out and about, that's the person that's shaking hands of the prospect that you want to talk to. They can just introduce you with a quick scan, and you know where it came from. You know who you're going to be taking out to dinner. It's just so much more convenient for everybody involved, and you're able to track it, so you know who's actually sending you these leads. Where sometimes people will call you, you'll ask them, of course you want to know how they found you, and they'll be like, oh, my buddy, I can't remember, sent me your way, said you're amazing, I gotta work with you. Fabulous, but I wish I could say thank you to whoever sent you my way, but we got to write this insurance, so let's get down to it. Here, we're able to know exactly who's sending them 24/7 because it's right there in the dashboard. It does it for you.
And you can see how many people have scanned their links. So you can be like, at the end of the day, dude, Casey, thank you so much. I noticed 7 people have come to me through your QR code. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Here's a gift card for your thank you, or let's go to lunch sometime, whatever. Yeah, I think it's great. So that's a phenomenal use case. I love that. I love the referral link. I love the, obviously the collecting of the data and whatnot. But I also love the idea of, like you said earlier, no matter what your current process are, what you're doing right now, how you're doing it, we don't want to change the way you're doing it. We want you to be able to do it the way you are. But you have like a unique way of like being able to kind of do it their own way, kind of a choose your own adventure kind of thing. Tell me a little bit more about that, and what that's called, what that looks like, and talk to the audience a little bit about that a little bit more.
Of course. So essentially Canopy Connect, it's a bunch of engineers. That's why I joined. I'll be completely frank with you. I joined Canopy Connect because it was literally just a bunch of engineers. So I knew they'd just be building the product. And the cool thing about these engineers, they actually want to talk to people. They've been talking to agents since day one of the product. It's been amazing. And because of that, we've been building and building and building and building. Now, we've been seeing so many more people utilizing it for referral partners. Now, the thing is, these are super cold. They don't know anything about you. You're not there. You know, maybe they're super, super busy and they don't even know what carrier they have when they click on this thing. We've actually built it out now to be something called Trailhead, where the agent is able to choose the paths that are available for the consumer. Essentially, you remember those books as we were kids, where, you'd be reading it, you get to a page and then it'd say, go to page 33 or go to page 45. We'd hold our finger there, go to page 33. Oh no, snake pit, I gotta flip back. Same kind of thing with Canopy Connect. They can have up to 4 trails to choose, adventures that they could choose. They can connect their insurance, where we capture information from 440 carriers instantly, transfer it to your systems automatically. They could upload a document, PDF file, or even a picture of their documents, maybe even a handwritten note. We parse the information, send it to your systems immediately. Maybe they're a new home purchase, new business venture, never even had insurance. Originally, when they click on the Canopy Connect, it wouldn't work. Now we have a smart form, multiple questions we've pre-built with the ability to customize with 153 customizable questions that the agent can build. And again, choose your own adventure path. Depending on how they answer these questions, different questions pop up, because guess what? If only 30 of them apply to them, we only want to ask 30 and not 153. Or maybe they are at that open house. They're looking around. They just want to raise their hand. Hey, give me a call. I've never had insurance. I'd like to talk to you about this because never needed it before. But now I'm buying a home and it's outside the city, so I can't take public transportation. I gotta get a car too. I'd like to talk to you about that too. They can raise their hand, boom. Agency contacts them. Essentially, we want to make Canopy Connect a silver bullet because we've been listening. It hasn't been a silver bullet. We know from talking to other consumers, they're telling us 9 out of 10 are using it anecdotally. When we're looking at the facts on the paperwork, people that are clicking on this thing, 75% complete it, get to the end, and submit their information. We got a gap of 25% there, Heath. That's why we came out with Trailhead. We want to bridge that gap. I mean, last month we had 300,000 people submit their information through that original path we've always had, connect your carrier, but
that's a big number.
It could be even bigger if we close that gap on that 25, and that's our goal here. Get it to 1 million a month. That's our goal.
And those that are listening that never experienced Canopy Connect, maybe this is your first episode you ever listened to. Welcome to Insurance Town. But those that don't know, we're not talking about scan this QR code, we'll get back to you next week. You're talking seconds.
So it brings back another piece of feedback. We started catching on a fire in the captive world. Let's be honest, they only got one shoe to try on that prospect. And you don't want to find out on the 3rd call, it took you 20 calls to get on, this shoe doesn't fit. They actually wear a size 14 Jordan, and I only got a size 10. This isn't gonna fly. Top 150 market share carrier, 5.6 seconds. We have tons, and I mean tons, of Farmers, Allstate. We're even partnered with Country Financial, utilizing us today because they can do one call closes with Canopy Connect. They're able to try that shoe on right then and there. And when I mean try that shoe on, they got to expose the gaps. They got to go over how you don't have storm water, you don't have wind and hail, how you got a percentage on your home, because they got to get that shoe to fit. If it doesn't fit on that call, they got to move on immediately. And our independents are starting to do that too, because they realized they started doing that. They started printing money, and they're able to do that with the Canopy Connect.
And with Canopy Connect, you're getting quotes back in under 9 seconds, under 8 seconds, whatever it might be, seconds, ladies and gentlemen, before you could even, click another button on your computer, probably it's already there. You can look at your dashboard and have everything right there. And it's on a nice, tidy little dashboard for you that connects to your CRM, that connects to your AMS, that connects to your tech stack. So here's the other thing, and I can't stress this enough. You're not going to close everybody, but everybody that you scan in, everybody that's in your dashboard stays in your dashboard. So you've got a lead list. You've got a prospect list for the quoted, not sold, for those, let me get back to you. Let me ask about whatever that might be. Or you quoted them and you just weren't a good fit. Well, maybe not now, but later, you've got a prospect list a mile long.
Or what if the prospect's not a good fit for you? What if they got SR22? What if they got one too many water damage claims? What if right now they got a claim going with Travelers? You probably don't want to take them while they're in between that claim. What's going on there? Why are they leaving in between a claim? You're going to see that stuff. You're also going to see, hey, that claim comes off in about 6 months and they would be a good fit. You can actually scroll to the top of Canopy Connect, enable refresh. We will refresh that data at a later date that you selected to see if they're a good fit, because what if they hit a school bus in between? Probably don't want to spend 40 minutes on the phone and then pay for an MBR to find out something they forgot to tell you.
1,000%. Love it. I just think that's just game changer, man. So many things that you guys do. And I keep telling people every week after week after week after week after week, if you're not using I don't know what you're doing. I mean, I've not seen anything like it. There's so many times I'm like, man, I need to start another agency again just to use Canopy and see if I could scale that much faster. But I digress. I don't want this episode just to sound like a love fest for Canopy Connect, but it really is. But I want the audience to know so much of what you guys are doing. And it's not like a thing to where it's going to cost them an arm and a leg. You've made it in a way you've listened. As you've talked about over and over and over, this is not an expensive product. This is not something that is only built for enterprise agencies or only built for 1 or 2 man shops, only built for middle market shops. It's truly something that can fit with your budget no matter how big or small you are, correct?
Exactly. And we're able to scale with you because you might be that one man band right now, one woman band. Guess what? We have so many agents that have just stayed that one person band because they didn't need to hire anybody. They were just able to scale their business by using AI where it can actually help you instead of bog you down, instead of irritate your customers because they want to actually talk to you when they're talking to somebody. Here, we're able to bridge those gaps and make it so you're able to run lean because Canopy Connect doesn't call out sick. That thing just works. You're not available at 10 p.m. on a Sunday. It's on your website. It collects the info. It's already in your radar. Monday when you're in the office, you're able to call them and they're at work. You got to leave voicemail. Guess what? You're leaving a voicemail going over gaps and deficiencies, and now you're the priority. Now they need to call you back because they just listened to that voicemail and it struck fear in their heart because what do you mean my Tesla doesn't have this coverage? What do you mean my house doesn't have this?
Yep.
Whole different conversation because now we're on the call with a trusted advisor.
So one other thing, I want people to understand is we've been hearing it for years, lately about AI and all of this stuff. And right now, I mean, last year it was, the big, thing was generative AI, and now it's agentic AI, and it's all this AI talk. People are scared and fearful of it, and some people are excited and diving all into it. But you guys have been using AI for years and years, since day one, and it's not like it's that scary AI that's going to hallucinate and mess up and do this. You guys have got it nailed down, and it's not a wrapper, and it's not using it on, ChatGPT or some agent. It's not that. It is true automation AI. It's true AI that's done in a way that it's not scary, for lack of better words.
Exactly, because when you get down those agentic AI, rabbit holes, that means you could change and do whatever it wants to do on its own, a lot. How we leverage AI, we'll make sure we're managing it. We got all these engineers that are double checking things, making sure it's all to par before anything's released. I'm not even gonna lie, we got all these bug bashes, do all sorts of stuff. It's cool to see these engineers just making sure it works before it gets released.
Yeah, you guys had the human in the loop before human in the loop was even a concept.
Exactly. Got to have people. People make the world go around. Everybody's talking about AI is going to replace the humans. Like, I don't think so. AI is something you have to tell. You got to really be specific. You got to really, really hammer down on it to get it to do exactly what you want it to do. I don't think it's going to be replacing any trusted advisor anytime soon, because guess what? It's got to sell to another human. We already talked about how we don't like talking to robots, and ain't replacing no agents anytime soon. It's going to take all the mundane tasks every day. Heck yeah, it's going to make it so you have more time on the golf course, more time with your family, but it's not going to replace you. Salespeople, never going to replace salespeople. We're going to be doing good. With all these cool fancy tools, we're going to be doing even better. Being a salesperson has never been better, in my opinion, with all these cool little fancy tools, because they just take other people out of the equation and allow us to focus on selling.
I love that. I think you're exactly right. One of the things that I can't get off this podcast without mentioning, and I love it. You guys obviously are everywhere. I see you at conferences all over the country, but I've noticed a little something new, not new, but exciting and fun you guys are doing with like I noticed at one of the conferences you brought a limo and you were all dressed in orange ties. You've gone to other conferences. We've done that luxury experience for people. Tell me about that. What is that about? Whose idea was that? Where'd that come from? To give exact names, but like, what a cool thing. And what's your concept there?
Oh, I'm going to give exact names. That came from our marketing team. Our marketing team is fire. We got Ray, we got Elizabeth, we got Carrie. They are just crushing it. They come up with just the most fabulous ideas, and they're always good. We always just run with them. And when they came with the limo idea, whole sales team was on board. We were on board so hardcore, Heath, we forgot to even eat. We didn't. We started at 6 a.m.
Right.
and we just crushed it till 4:30. And we were like, "Well, hold on a second. Did anybody eat anything?" Not a single one of us did. And there was 5 of us, 5 grown adult men that forgot how to eat because marketing had such a good idea and we liked it so much we just follow through with it.
Dude, I love the messaging that gives to your customers.
It was fantastic, and we can't look forward more to doing those at even more events, doing more little inclusive, hangouts with us to just thank our customers, our partners for being there with us. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all. Let's just be honest. That's it. Plain as day.
Dude, I love it. Okay, so I want to wrap up. I want to give you an opportunity. I got one more question after this, but I'm gonna give you an opportunity. You just started to do it, but again, this is not scripted. But I want to give you a minute or two, or however long you need, really, to talk to the audience for a minute. The customers that you already have, tell them how you feel, how Canopy Connect feels, and then I want you to talk to any prospects that are listening and just give them a little message straight from Canopy.
To any of our customers out there, any of our vendor partners out there, we are so lucky to have you. I can't even put it into words. Actually, I kind of can. So I first started here a little over 5 years ago. It was just me and the sales. It was just Casey. I did sales, I did onboarding, I did marketing before, thank goodness, Ray came. Oh my God, our marketing savior. It was just Casey. And Casey didn't really know what he was doing. I'll be honest with y'all, but I did know one thing. You folks had huge hearts. And if I just put my time, made sure you were successful, by golly, y'all made me successful. I am so blessed with all of our customers today that talk about us, vendor partners that talk about us. I'm not even going to lie, Heath. First thing I ask when I get on a call with them, I ask how you heard about us. And half of them tell me another agent that they were at lunch with, they were at dinner with, told them about Canopy Connect, showed them on their phone, showed them how it worked. And I'm just like, oh, so lucky with our customers. I had a customer that jumped on a call with me because he started with us 5 years ago. He wanted to see what the new bells and whistles were because he just used the debt collector. He was blown away. He checked his radar, all this stuff, just because he had no idea. He told me a story, one of his favorite stories about Canopy Connect. He was working with a prospect. Prospect had home and auto. They used the Canopy Connect link. Only auto came back. He called them, said, "Hey, do you have home with another carrier?" Prospect said, "No, I only have that carrier." He said, "Ooh, it doesn't look like you have home. Can you please contact your carrier agent?" Contacts the carrier, finds out they have not had home insurance for 2 years because the home is paid off and they had canceled, but they didn't see the cancel letter. 2 years. Only found out because they used the Canopy Connect link. Needless to say, the agent wrote home policy, got them all squared away. 6 months later, they actually lived in Hurricane Alley. Hurricane came through, took out the neighborhood right next to them. Luckily, their house wasn't touched, but if it was, they'd be up a creek without a paddle. Another customer that literally they were on the free trial when I was talking to them because I was doing the sales and onboarding. So I was doing my onboarding after they kind of used it. She told me that she's like, "Hey, Casey, you told me to test it on myself and some friends and family at first. I used it on my cousin. She had switched over to me last year. I just wanted to see if it would pull anything from her prior carrier. It pulled in a home policy. I was still active. They didn't cancel. I got my cousin $3,000 back because of you."
Wow. You saw my
it's crazy. And I hear that all the time where they're getting prospects money back before they write the policy. If you're able to do that for a prospect, you got a prospect for life. You got a referral partner for life. You got somebody that's going to be there rooting your agency on because you did something for them before they even paid you a dime. And anybody that's not using Canopy Connect, I'd love to show you how it works. I'd love to show you what we've been doing for the other 22,000 agents today. I'd love for you to be one of those agents that's getting one of those 300,000 submissions last month coming in your inbox and you're closing on that first call. And with that, I love you, Heath. You're the man.
Dude,
you are always full of joy and positivity, and everything you post online is just amazing. I've never heard one negative word come from you. Even when I know you're not having the best of day, you still got a smile on your face and you're still shooting out positivity in a world that's so negative. Appreciate you, brother. We're lucky to have you.
I appreciate you saying that, and I love you, brother. I thank you so much for being here with me today. And if the guys that want to go to usecanopy.com, and I'll throw in /Heath so I can get some credit for it because I want them to know how much my citizens love Canopy Connect. If you want to connect with Casey, LinkedIn, Casey Armstrong, you'll find him and his beautiful mug. And Casey, again, thank you. And you could also go to Casey at usecanopy.com if you want to email him and reach out to him there. Look for him at a trade show. Look for anybody on the team, dude. They're so much fun, and you'll find them. Look for the limo. But also tell them I said hi. Tell them you're from Insurance Town. But also just tell them thank you because Canopy Connect is crushing it and doing so many cool things. Dude, thank you so much. Have a great day, Casey.
You too, brother. See you soon, Mayor.